A wonderful, I mean, just a fantastic band that's coming here. We're doing that because I realize there's great musicians in this area. I mean, like off the chart good. But they never get seen in a concert situation. The only place you see them is in a bar. They're a sideshow. You're never really paying attention and respecting how wonderful they are. So we find those groups, and if they have original music, we don't want them to play covers. We want them to play their stuff. And we've done a few of these, and they've been great. And you come here, it's like a listening room on that Monday. You sit down just like the comedy show, and you watch the band in concert. You can't stand up, you can't dance, you can't sing along unless they ask you to. If you want to do any of those things, you go back to the green room and do that. You sit and you're served just like you are here and watch a great musical show. That one's coming up in October, and I hope you guys will come over and enjoy it. We're going to do a lot of those, and we're going to do all genres and just find the greatest people in the area to do that with, and it's just so that you can see they get the respect that they're due. What's that? How long do they play? About an hour and a half. The first one we did went an hour and 45, and I realized that was about 30 minutes too long. You watch the crowd, and I found just sitting intent watching a group, it seems like at about an hour and 15 minutes, people start to get antsy. You know what I mean? So we found right at about an hour 15 to an hour and a half max, that you've had enough, you know? And it's always best that you leave wanting more. And that's the way I've always made my home. When you leave my home, I hope you want more. You're the only one. You've known me? Exactly. I think you've had 2 martinis. And I think that's right. No, that's it. And so we got a lot of great stuff. So let's bring Neil and Rob back out. Neil and Rob, come back out.
Hey, real quick, I forgot to mention this. I have DVDs after, and my newest one's called Crisscross Applesauce, and if you buy it, I'll give you my last one for free. So you get them both for $20. If you want them, cool. If not, no big deal. Bye, good night.
So you get one, and then you get the other one that you ordered way too many of.
Yeah.
I did that too at one point.
Overstocked.
Yeah. They give you that break point that sounded good at the time. It's good. Well, the reason that we are now, I believe, is we're live on YouTube. And so the reason that we do this is because I have found the audience members, when they talk to me over the years about the comedians, is that there's a feeling that we're all born this way, that we all have a genetic predisposition to be funny. We're just funny, and that's how you get to be a comedian. Well, that's bullshit. How you get to be a comedian is that you have a desire to be a comedian, and then you work your ass off for about 10 years to get to be a professional comedian, and I think that's generally about right.
No, I was born this way.
You were born this way? Okay.
I'm very funny.
You might want to turn him up just a little bit, because that was a little loud. So I'll start with you, Neil. Could you just tell the audience basically how you grew up, your family dynamic, mom, dad, brothers, sisters, where, what, you know, that type of thing, how you grew up.
Regular middle-class white kid. My brother's like way older than me, so like kind of felt like uncles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I never lived with my brothers. They were already out of the house. And then
Were you like one of those kids? Were you like a surprise kid
I was surprised,
to your parents?
Yeah. I think I'm my sister's kid, and then they just said.
We were talking about that earlier. You ever called your sister mom and seen what would happen?
Not by accident. My mom was like super smothering, and my dad was one of those like pretend he doesn't care. You know what I'm talking about? And so it was like a real weird. It was like, well, mom loves me, and then I feel like my mom. I just like in therapy recently discovered that my mom gave me like Munchausen by proxy. I mean, I don't want to accuse the poor lady of anything, but she did. Like, all my life, I was allergic to everything. I couldn't, like, play in the grass. I was allergic to grass. I was allergic to sunlight, allergic to milk. I eat cereal with milk every morning and no diarrhea.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, what was she doing? It's all right.
And what did your dad do for a living?
He drove a truck for the Daily News overnight, so he was always asleep. And I was always bothering him.
Did your mom work?
No.
No. And what did your brothers and sisters end up doing?
Drugs.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Was there anybody in your immediate family or that world that you grew up in that was in entertainment that had anything to do with entertainment? No, not at all. Okay, cool. Same to you, Rob. Same basic.
Rich Little is my uncle. That's not true, but I said it a lot growing up because he was very funny. I just did my Ancestry.com, and Bob Hope is in my family, but he's like third cousin, twice removed, and he never showed up for any family outings. No. But USO, okay, I get it, Bob. But my dad was in a band. My dad was a drummer in a band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's
what kind of band? Like rock?
Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only kind.
No. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah. Is that the other question?
No.
My sister is my mom.
And your mom.
And my mom gave me munchies, not Munchausen, munchies. Disease. We're all fat in my family. We just got our family portrait done by aerial photography. It was.
Use a drone?
There's only 3 of us, so it was
It's amazing.
embarrassing.
It's nice.
I was like, why aren't they dropping food? It was so embarrassing.
So what'd your dad do?
My dad was a trucker.
Oh.
Yeah, he was a trucker, but he was also, I think, part-time whore.
A part-time whore?
Yeah, he was a horrible guy. He was not a good guy. I don't talk to him. Thanks for bringing it up.
Okay. Well, just wanted to know.
No, but I take care. Thank you. Why is it wet? I don't.
Oh my God! Give you a used napkin.
I don't know.
Wow,
It's gross.
That was nice and horrible at the same time.
So, these guys are actually friends of mine from Michigan, so I'm glad that they're here. He's not really gay. It's his lady behind him.
So your dad drove a truck, so he was gone, and much like a stand-up comedian.
He was gone a lot. Yep.
Yeah. And then your mom, did she work?
My mom was a nurse. Nurses. Yeah, she was an ER nurse, and crazy stories all the time. She didn't. I don't think HIPAA was a deal back then. They could just say shit. It's like, what happened?
Oh, yeah.
Well, this guy had a light bulb up his butt today, and
Yeah.
so that's how I started out in comedy.
I have 2 friends of mine that are trauma nurses, and they told me that, I've had other medical people back this up. They said when somebody comes into the ER and they're on the fence of life or death. I mean, they're just really teetering there. They said they can predict their survivability by the teeth to tattoo ratio. They said
I liked you looked at Neil.
They said if you have more than 6 tattoos and less than 6 teeth, you can't kill those son of a bitches. Can't kill them. They'll walk out every time.
No, you're right.
You know, beautiful skin, beautiful teeth. Them fuckers are dead before they even hit the. They go into shock. They know they're supposed to. You know. So, brothers and sisters?
I have a younger sister and I have a nephew. I've never been married and I don't have kids. That was true.
And what does your sister do?
I don't know. I don't talk to her either. She's horrible.
Wow.
Horrible person.
Okay.
Everybody's got him in their family, right? She's horrible. I use my nephew against her. That's how mean she was to me. Like, I'll keep him and I'll just give him sugar all day. And then, like, at 5 a.m., I'm like, you got to go home. And then that's when I give him, like, a 5-hour energy drink. And I'm just like, get home. Fuck you, Heather. And,
was.
She was horrible.
Anybody in your family other than your dad was a drummer? Anybody else, but just him?
No, that's it.
Did you ever watch him play?
Yeah, all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yep. The reason I wanted to be a comedian is we went up north to Is anybody from Michigan out there? I know you guys are. We went to Mackinac Island when I was a little kid, and we didn't have HBO growing up, but they had it in the motel, and they were watching George Carlin, and they were like pissing themselves laughing, and I was just like, I want to do that. I was 5 years old, and ever since that day, that's all I ever wanted to be.
You were 5 years old, and they let you watch George Carlin?
They thought I was asleep, but they also smoked weed, so I was...
They probably told you were allergic to George Carlin. Yeah, more than likely. Okay. Any outside, because comedy can be all-consuming. Do you have hobbies outside? I mean, I play golf. Is there something that you really enjoy doing outside of comedy that you?
It's all comedy related. I mean,
Everything.
I do a YouTube channel that takes up most of my time, but it's because it's for that, you know. It's
Yeah, but no sport, no music, no anything.
no. I went to school to be an umpire.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, I was in like much better shape like 10 years
Okay,
ago.
all right.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I was.
like you want to be a professional umpire?
Yeah, I wanted to be an MLB umpire.
Nice.
But I was like, it's hard.
He's the only one that really doesn't move, though, right? The one behind the catcher? Is that what you're talking? Not soccer, because that's a lot of running.
No, yeah,
Okay.
Major League Baseball. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And, you have any interests?
Well,
outside?
you've been doing comedy 5 years.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it 21 years. So at 5 years, yeah, I was all comedy too. Now you've been doing it forever, right? How long?
Yeah.
So
40.
I try to do anything else
Other than comedy.
I build shit now. I never build. Thank God for Home Depot and YouTube, because we didn't have that growing up. We just had a dad saying, "Hold the fucking flashlight," and I was just like, right?
Yep.
And you didn't do it. You got your ass beat. And then I was like, I'm not building anything ever. I don't care.
All right.
I got to get good at this comedy so I can afford a real car. And but now I build shit all the time.
What's the last thing you built?
I just redid a garage last week for a friend.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, redid a garage. I build Adirondack chairs. I do all kinds of shit. I love it.
Do you make any money off of it?
I usually do it for friends, so I don't. No, I don't make any money.
It was your garage?
No, it was a lady.
Have you ever sat in his Adirondack chair?
I could.
You'd break them. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I make pallet beds. I make a lot of shit out of pallets because it's free. So
Yeah.
who gives a shit, right?
Okay. All right.
Just take them, take the supplies off of them, and
So bring the house lights up just a little bit, Justin. We'll spend the next few minutes. Any questions that you have for either
no
one
way.
of these guys? If you have any questions at all, yes. What's different about playing McCurdy's than other places?
McCurdy's is the greatest club in America.
Thank you, Neil.
yeah.
You don't need to. You're good. Yeah.
We do think that. It is one of the best comedy clubs.
Yeah, I'm being sincere. I mean, I smile like I'm joking, but it's up there.
Yeah?
Yes. You're talking about the crowds? Do you mean like because they're a little older, you think? Is that what you're saying? I feel like you're being a young prick right now, and you're trying to... He's like the youngest dude in here. He's like, yeah, so... Do you see a lot of young guys at it? Relax, dude, all right? No, the crowds are good wherever. Florida's great crowds, so anytime you can get to Florida, I think it's fun. Older folks, they always act like older folks get offended easier, but they've heard everything. So it's usually not as hard. It's the young kids that get offended?
Yeah.
Okay, I wish you'd leave then.
True.
It's true.
True.
Yeah, that is true.
Yep.
Okay, so you're saying you suck? Is that what you're saying? Oh, okay, good.
Question? Yes. Can you do your comedy in California?
I live in LA for the last 10 years. So, yes? Was that the question?
I don't really know what.
Are you inviting us?
No. No, I mean. Oh, the political correctness? No, I mean.
It's not that bad.
No, people aren't that different. You know, I mean.
It's not.
Yeah, I mean, There was a big thing. I mean, there was a documentary film a couple years ago with Jim Norton and Lisa Lampanelli and Adam Carolla about they don't play college campuses anymore because
I don't either.
the political the liberals have gotten so liberal they become radical in their liberalism. And so you say say anything as a comic, we got to make fun of something.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden you say something, and just one person in a college audience will feel that it's okay for them to stand up and say that they're offended and stop your show. You know what I mean? But it's just one person.
It's always a white woman.
I'll tell you the one place.
It is. I hate to say
I'll
that.
tell you the one place
I've
I've only performed that was completely different than everybody else. Utah. I just shot a dry bar comedy special in Utah, Salt Lake, and it's all, you can't even say God in your show. And I say God, oh my God. And I walked right out and I was like, oh my God. And I was like, fuck, oh, damn, oh, shit. I walked right off stage. I goes, let's start it over. Let's start it over.
Really? I did not know.
Yeah, they edit it out in your show if you say any of that. So it's a special that gets shot for Facebook and their website and stuff.
Well, dry bar comedy is
All clean.
All clean.
Yep.
Right. That's out there.
Yeah. And
You know.
I mean, clean, like, don't even say God. So that was very different for me because that's like in your vernacular all day. That's easy to say.
Right. And just at a point, I was up in Boston last year, the Boston Comedy Competition, and they did the whole competition at a few theaters that were right in the heart of Cambridge and Harvard, and that was and it was a lot of students, and of course this is totally Democrat country, left wing, the whole 9 yards, and I expected a lot of that. And man, I watched these comics do all kinds, and not one moment of that. People just sat and laughed and understood that you're just trying to be funny. You know what I mean? So I think that's a little overblown, really, by the media.
What?
Rob Little.
Oh, he's such a liar.
Sometimes Neil when he's no.
Brian Regan's my favorite. I love
Yeah,
Brian.
yeah.
I love Louis C.K. who's
Louis
coming here.
C.K.
He's coming here this
be
weekend.
Here Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, but it's all sold out.
Yeah, the usual people, Louis and Bill Burr.
Bill Burr, Chappelle.
I'm a big
Growing
fan
up
of-
was Bill Cosby for me. Bill Cosby and
Yeah,
Eddie
I'll
Murphy.
agree.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Nate Bargatze.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. But growing up, of course, Cosby was just amazing.
Yeah.
And it's so sad what happened.
I didn't know he was a pharmacist.
Get home safe.
Is there a question back there?
Sorry we bored you.
Wasn't he the one that asked the question too?
Yeah.
What the hell?
He was like, who do you like? I'm out.
What's that? Yes.
Are you
Oh,
serious?
you've seen Rob Little 5 or 6 times?
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Oh, you're so nice. Oh my God, I don't know where that is.
Sounds far.
Pasco
Thank
County.
you.
Yeah.
The way she said it sounds far.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's-
What?
Yeah. Are you guys engaged? Well, we could do this wedding right now if you want. You're ordained too, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm ordained.
Les
I'm
is ordained too.
Yeah, I'm married. I've married a couple people.
I do a lot of cruises.
he was like,
Royal Caribbean's the one I do the most of now. Yeah.
If you want to book him, call me. 'Cause
Yeah.
I get 10%. Okay. It's expensive. It's expensive. Yes.
Long Island, New York. Long Island?
He's heard of it.
Oh, yeah. Long Island. All right. I grew up 8 hours away from there. You from Long Island or no? We're in Long Island. Oh, MacArthur Airport. Good for you guys.
So what was the city in Long Island?
They said they're West Islip, Babylon.
And where are you from?
I'm from. Well, I live in Bethpage now.
Bethpage.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Thrilling. We got over here.
Yes, no? Over here.
This is fun. Oh, yeah, of course. It was fun. It was scary, fun. You bomb. You're like, oh, Can't wait to get back up and try it again. The first time you bomb's the worst. I had a guy, the first time it happened to me was my third time on stage. I killed the first two. And then the third time, the guy it was Roger in Ann Arbor Comedy Club. Do you guys? Yeah, your buddies. He goes, you normally get 7 minutes. He goes, you got 3 minutes. And I didn't know how to adjust. So I just went up and said everything that I had as fast as I could. And it was crickets. It was just... I wish I got crickets. That's how bad it was. People just like, what is wrong with this guy? I'm like, so the guy did this and this. I was it was horrible.
I've always thought that comics, the one thing that I think that is kind of common with us, I always think that we think we're better than we are every step of the way. I always did. Because as an open micer, I always thought, well, that was funny. They just didn't fucking get it.
Why aren't I headlining?
You know, that was fun. There's something wrong with them. I'm on point.
Yeah. They say not to blame the audience.
Why are you trying to think of doing comedy? Because they have open
the audience.
They have classes here. You do classes here, don't you, for comedy? Yep.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Pinconning, Michigan. We're the cheese capital of Michigan, and we're also ranked 3rd in Hemp Magazine for the best marijuana in the United States. And they just passed it. They just passed marijuana in Michigan, so people are like going. I bet
they're selling a lot more cheese.
So much. And everybody's bound up, but nobody cares. So it's
just stoned, constipated cheeseheads.
Our biggest building is our bowling alley, and they just turned it into a grow house. So everybody's trying to join those leagues really quick.
Yeah. That's a good one, yeah.
Just in the middle?
Yeah. Favorite funny television?
Dateline?
Yeah. It's hilarious. Me too. 60 Minutes fucking kills me.
I love Family Guy. That's my favorite.
I like Fox News. That just, oh man, I laugh my ass off.
Thanks for coming, ladies. This was fun. I can't believe you all stayed. This is so nice.
All right, was there anything else? Yeah, okay. Yep.
What's your least favorite part of being a comedian?
Travel.
These questions.
Yeah.
Traveling sucks. You're always in an airport that's something's wrong. You meet a bunch of jerks on It's horrible. It's the worst part.
I love the travel.
He's 5 years into it.
Yeah,
Give him.
I travel my whole before this. I toured with rock bands, obviously. So I don't know, man. Like that was like part of the appeal for me. Was like, oh, I get to tell jokes and I get to travel still. Like, oh,
see, I'm like you. I loved the traveling for about 5 years.
Yeah, it's fun at first,
you know, and then it started to just start to be the same over and over again.
Oh my God!
When I met Pam and I decided to get married, I realized that marriage and being on the road for 25 weeks a year doesn't really work out. And she was very pretty, and I had no other shot.
Last year, I only had 10 days off the whole year, and it was a nightmare.
That's the reason I opened the club. Was there any? Okay.
So what's the best part?
to travel.
It's the babes, definitely. Oh man, the comedy groupies are unbelievable, aren't they?
Yeah.
Just wanting you.
Look at them all rushing the stage.
You saw it with rock and roll, but this is ridiculous.
I'm gonna bang this dude later.
You're gonna bang that dude right there? Oh man. I know, it's like it never stops.
There's a lot of cool things. Being on stage is number one. That's the best. You can't beat it. It's the best feeling.
Making people laugh is there. I mean, we all know it. You know, to walk onto a stage in front of a group of strangers and get them to all respond at the same time, exactly the same
all
time.
Of you.
Well, some of you. You know, it's incredible. It's an incredible, and the fact that response is laughter. I've done music and theater, and this is way better, way better.
I prefer
But
this to music.
Yes,
Sure.
but most people don't want to do it because it's risk reward. You know, every other performance you get judged after the performance is over with. This one you're judged moment to moment to moment to moment. You can be up here and having a great time for 10 minutes, and then the next 10 minutes can go way south, and then you got to get them back. So.
I'll tell you, can you give one quick one before we go?
Yeah.
The one thing that really sucks is like getting things that almost happened for you. Like I was picked in 2006 to be a brand new cast member on Saturday Night Live, and that was the same year Sarah Palin came out. So Tina Fey stayed, Chris Parnell, Maya Rudolph, Amy Poehler, they were all supposed to leave, and they didn't. So me and 4 other dudes got screwed that year. I know. And then they said, don't worry, we'll look at you again next year. And the following year, they only wanted new women because those women were so funny. And that was when Jenny Slater went on and said F right away said fuck on the first episode. And they ended up firing her. I was like, that's what you get, you sons of bitches, for not picking me again. It's just horror. Like big things like that fall through, and you're just like, man, it's crushing.
I had like a similar, not quite the same. I was writing, and I had gotten a lot of things in place, and then there was that writer's strike.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was
I was like low man on the totem pole, so it was like, all right, well, see you later. They're like, you're going back to playing rock music.
Yep. It's amazing how many people that we know that were that close to being a star. I mean, maybe 5 or 6 times. And it just, timing doesn't work or whatever. And as a comedy club owner and producer, I can tell you this, is that, I pack this room when there's a celebrity name. And you pay more money for your ticket because it's the guy that you saw on television, the guy you saw in the movies. But 9 times out of 10, that comic is not funnier than either one of these guys are. They're not. They're not. They're funny, but they're not especially funnier. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you another thing that I see is, too, there's funny on television and there's funny live.
Yes.
And there's some comics that are awesome live, but they don't do well on television. There's comics that are great on television, lackluster live. But if you're not good on television and in movies, you never sell tickets. It's a weird kind of thing, but it's just the way the business works, And that's y'all. Y'all make that decision that, the magic box. You see them on TV and you're going, oh, man, I want to be in a room with that person that's in my television. It's true. It's true. It's a human nature. It's weird. I'm glad you do it. It makes me more money. I really do. Okay. I think that's it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Neil, Rob, we will be on 107.9 with David Jones and Meredith in the morning at 8 o'clock.